Welcome to Meldon Law and Friends. I'm Jeffrey Meldon, founder and attorney at Meldon Law, and we have a great show for you this week. You're going to really be interested in what our guests, Shannon and Crystal, have to say. So let's see what we can do to give you a little bit about what's going on in the community this week. We got the holiday season is upon us. 2 weeks until Christmas Eve. And for those of us like myself that are Jewish, we got Hanukkah the same night as Christmas. So that's a big deal this year because the Jewish calendar is on the moon, based on the moon, and the secular calendar is based on the sun. So that's why dates move around from in the Jewish calendar versus the secular calendar. So that's what's going on. Anyhow, couple things. I was just out in Montana, great place called Big Sky, Montana, for a retreat on health and wellness. And I really was inspired by one of the spiritual leaders that came and talked to us about awareness and how positioning our awareness on things that are positive and things that we can change and we can make improvement on is much better than focusing awareness on things that are negative that we can't change. So, for example, you're in traffic and you're backed up. Maybe you're late for an appointment. However, there's no side road you can cut off of. You're going to just have to grin and bear it and get through this traffic jam that's very annoying and causing you to be late. You can put your total awareness on that situation and get upset, get frustrated, start swearing in the car at yourself and doing all kind of crazy stuff. Or you can accept the fact that you can't change the situation. You need to keep your awareness somewhere else. And your awareness, of course, should be on driving, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's upsetting you. Your driving is just a function of getting from point A to point B. However, wouldn't it be nice if you could shift your awareness to something pleasurable, something that maybe you could help change, something that is going to be able to enrich your life and others? And for me, that was my biggest takeaway, that I really think that all of us are challenged. All of us have things that are negative, things that bring us down, things that make us angry, all of that. Think of ways in which you can move your awareness away from that without ignoring them. You should be aware of things that are going on. You should try to deal with them. However, don't focus your total awareness on them to the extent that you ruin your day. You make yourself upset. You're angry all the time. That was a powerful message. Couple other things. We had a woman speak to us about full body scans to help diagnose cancer. She's a female medical doctor who runs clinics that are now able to utilize MRI technology in order to enhance your ability to get early diagnosis on life-threatening diseases like cancer. One of the lawyers in our mastermind group actually had that experience. When he had a full body scan, they were able to detect a thyroid cancer early on, and he's up and well and doing fine because he made the effort to go out and do something that's a little bit innovative right now, but it works. So I just mention that because if I can help one person as far as their health and maybe save their life, wow, that would be amazing, right? Those are some of the things. We also got into the health and wellness situation. And the health and wellness situation had to do with taking care of your body from as early an age as you can, but certainly it's never too late to stop. When I was 49 years old, I dedicated myself to hiring a personal trainer 3 days a week. If you can't afford a personal trainer, you can get a friend and someone that's going to hold you accountable to show up and work out. And I've been doing that for, 32 years, trying to take care of myself in a way that enhances uh, my ability to live a healthy life, because aging isn't all it's cracked up to be if you're feeling crummy. It's like riding. Do you want to ride in a junky car? Or do you want to ride in a well-preserved car when you're going down the road? You can be driving a 1960 Chevy that's been kept up immaculately, and you're going to have a good ride. Or you can have one that's all, junky and rusted out and looks terrible, and you're embarrassed to be seen in it. So it's our choice to make. It's something I'm very passionate about, and I feel like I want to inspire at least one other person to do something about it. My personal recommendation is go hire a personal trainer at least 2 or 3 days a week. Make a commitment. It'll hold you accountable. And once you get into it, you'll see whether or not you're able to maintain that kind of regime and make yourself healthier. So that's my thoughts for the day. I want to, sometimes bring in outside influences that affect me, and I hope it helps you as well. Meldon Law. We are the only official injury law firm partner of the Florida Gators, and we're very proud of it because we live in North Central Florida. Our offices are in Gainesville, Ocala, Lake City, Williston, and we really want to communicate that we are local. It makes a difference. If you ever in an accident and you need somebody, you can call Meldon Law and you can speak to a Meldon, either myself or my son Kerry. We'll be glad to talk with you or meet you in the office. And that's something different than many of the other firms that advertise heavily on TV accomplish. They're not here. They're tied up, in their own towns or cities outside of Gainesville, or if they're here, they're tied up doing other things. At Meldon Law, the family is involved, and we take care of our clients the same way we would our family. As far as other things going on, last week we had the women's basketball coach, Kelly Ray Finley, on, and what a great interview she gave. She was terrific. So we're donating money to support the Ronald McDonald House by virtue of free throws made by the women's and the men's basketball team. We're donating $19.71 the year our firm was founded for each free throw made by either the men's or the women's team. What does that mean? That when you go to a game, root on the Gators to make their free throws, because money is going to be going over to the Ronald McDonald House. In the last few years, we've donated over $20,000 to just the Alzheimer's Association, and this year we're focusing in on the Ronald McDonald House. So it's something we're very passionate about, excited about, and they need volunteers. If you or someone you know wants to help, they every night they need help in the kitchen preparing meals for the 50 families that are living there. These families have kids that are suffering from cancer, leukemia, heart disease, all these problems that are being treated over at Shands Hospital at the University of Florida, UF Health, and really need support in the way of a place to stay and food. You can help. You can donate also. Just call over to the Ronald McDonald House. Tell them you're a friend of Jeffrey Meldon, and they'll make sure you know what opportunities are available to help. It's a wonderful organization, and Meldon Law stands behind them 110%. Couple other things. We have, the big game, the Gators versus Texas Longhorns on January 18th. It's a basketball game, and we're doing a VIP package, 2 great seats for the game on January 18th, $250 for the UF bookstore. You can buy all kinds of neat Gator gear there. It's not books so much as it is Gator clothes and paraphernalia. And dinner for 2 at the Texas Roadhouse and much more. So all you have to do is go to our Facebook page, Meldon Law, and you'll see the Texas Longhorn versus Gator package. Sign up, and you'll be amazed. You have a good chance to win. Winter Wonderland is going on at World Equestrian Center in Ocala now until late December. WEC, World Equestrian Center, is amazing. For those of you that haven't been there, go. For those of you that have been there already, I don't have to explain it to you. It's a one of a kind in the world. It really is the centerpiece for the equestrian world, and people from all over the world are coming there. So it's a great time to go. There's twinkling lights, show-stopping decorations, lots of merriment and cheer. And Fridays and Saturdays, they have a huge lineup of entertainment, musical performances, and for the kids, face painting, balloon artists, festive food. So don't miss it. Head over to the World Equestrian Center. Christmas in Columbia County on December 14th, 9 o'clock until 4 p.m. That is just west of Alusty Park near the Lake City Police Station. And it's they're going to also have their annual Christmas in Columbia market on that same day. So join them, 9 to 4. As a matter of fact, that same day we're having our Christmas party at Adena Golf Course. For those of you that are avid golfers and can afford it, I would highly recommend you check out Adena. It's a one-of-a-kind golf course. It's amazing. My son Kerry is an avid golfer, loves to go out there. It's on the Gainesville side of Ocala. It's not hard to get to whether you're anywhere in north central Florida. So enjoy it. It's probably the nicest club that has a first-class golf course within a couple hundred miles of Gainesville. It's amazing. Dance Alive is doing the Nutcracker again. So if you want to find out the dates, which are December 19th through the 21st, from, let's see, at 7:30, and on the 21st, which is a Saturday, and on Sunday, they also do a 2 p.m. matinee. Go yourself, you'll enjoy it, or bring some kids. They'll be amazed. It's a national ballet company, and the Phillips Center is an amazing forum to see ballet. So let's support them. Again, just Google Dance Alive Nutcracker, and you'll get all the information you need on how to get seats, when the shows are. I promise you it'll be amazing. Meldon Law is sponsoring the Flagler School for the Deaf and Blind are coming for a special performance just for them on the 18th, Wednesday, December 18th, and they're going to watch and feel the final rehearsal of the Nutcracker. The kids will be right there by the stage, putting their hand on the stage to hear what's going on. They get an opportunity to meet the performers, and a lot of times those that are visually impaired will be able to touch different parts of their uniform just to get some idea of what the ballet uniforms look like. It's really pretty cool. So let's support Dance Alive. Just Google it, Dance Alive. You'll have a wonderful time. In Ocala, listen to this. They're doing the Riley December 15th, two shows, a matinee at 2 and an evening show at 7, and also December 16 and 17. I think that's a Monday and Tuesday. They're doing an evening show at the Riley in Ocala. So those of you that are in Ocala and you want to see it locally, that's great. If not, the Performing Arts Theater at the Phillips Center in Gainesville will put on the same show, and they'll be equally amazing. I have a note here that I should share information with y'all about buying Florida auto insurance. Insurance rates are going through the roof, man. I hate it, particularly homeowners insurance. Car insurance is going up. All the other insurances, health insurance, life insurance, everything's going up. And I decided to write a book about it, a 3-step approach to purchasing adequate auto insurance at a competitive price. It's simple. Number one, you can download my book and read it in 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It's a consumer guide. Then number two, go talk with a local insurance agent to make sure you're not, you're getting straight information. I'm always concerned when you call an 800 number or go online, because when you're talking to somebody who's out of town and doesn't know you, they may have started working there 2 weeks before and don't really know the ins and outs of what Florida insurance is all about and your particular needs. So take advantage. It's free. You can usually get the same rate or a lower rate from an agent. They have offices all over. All you have to do is just Google it, and you'll find out where you're at, and you can talk to one or more folks and find out what they recommend for coverage based on your financial needs. Then the third part of the process is shop for the best price. And we give a lot of recommendations in the book as far as how to do all of those things. Most importantly, we outline what the terms are on your policy. So after you read our consumer guide, you'll know what bodily injury liability coverage is. You'll know what uninsured motorist coverage is and why you need it. You'll know what gap insurance is. You'll know what PIP or personal injury protection is. All those terms are explained. So let's, do something proactive. The fact is, statistically, your greatest risk is in your car. So you need to have uninsured motorist coverage because in the state of Florida, you're not required to have any insurance other than minimal PIP insurance. And property damage, it doesn't help you, it helps the other person if you're at fault. So you have no coverage that's meaningful, number one. And number two, you have to buy uninsured motorist coverage if you're a responsible person in the state of Florida and want to protect you and your family. So that's what's going on. Again, great ticket giveaways on our Facebook page at Meldon Law. Check it out. We're always scoring tickets because of our relationship with the Gators. We have great seats, and we'll be glad to give them away to you. That's what we enjoy doing, and I'm consider myself to be a very strong Gator fan, and I want to bring people to the games, particularly women's basketball. Wow, Shaq was there last weekend. His daughter is playing on the Gator women's basketball team, and she's good, 6'4". What a surprise. And she's a terrific athlete, doing really well. So let's support the Lady Gator basketball team. They really need to get some fans in the seats, and that's one of the things. We're good friends with the coach, Kelly Ray Finley, and she promises she's going to win, and then all of y'all are going to be scrambling to show up and get to the games. So let's do it. Let's make it happen. And here's to Gator women's basketball. That's it for announcements. I'm Jeffrey Meldon, founder and attorney at Meldon Law. Welcome to the show. And we're going to be back in just a few minutes with some incredible guests. They're going to talk about a very interesting topic. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Jeffrey, what are you doing?
Well, I'm joining the band, of course. Since Meldon Law is the official law firm partner of the Florida Gators, I want to help.
Dad, we're litigators. Let's stick to helping people in the courtroom.
Well, can we still hang out and jam a little bit? At Meldon Law, we won't back down.
I was going down a one-way street and a girl that was driving her car T-boned me on my scooter. I ended up going for an MRI and discovering that I had 2 herniated discs. Coming to Cary allowed me to not have to worry about what doctor I was going to see or what physical therapist I had to go to. They say, these are the people we trust. You're going to have a great experience there, and I honestly did each time.
Call Meldon Law. Your consultation is absolutely free.
And I was in an accident. Someone ran a red light and hit me, and I was hurt. You don't know where to turn. Luckily, I called Jeffrey. These big insurance companies, they don't want you to win. They truly don't. But Jeffrey and his firm and the people that work here, they just really fight for you. You call the law offices of Jeffrey Meldon because you're going to need help, and they will help you.
Call Meldon Law right now.
Hey, Sammy, look who's there. Say hi.
Hey!
You again.
Meldon Law, Jeffrey speaking.
Jeffrey!
Somebody else
hit us.
Here we go again. Back to Meldon Law and Friends. I'm Jeffrey Meldon, founder and attorney at Meldon Law, and I want to welcome our guests Shannon Robinson and Crystal Fye to the show. How are you doing this afternoon, ladies?
Great, doing pretty well.
Good.
Thanks for
Well,
having us.
it's good seeing you all again. I know you're good friends already with Meldon Law, and that we appreciate your involvement in the community. I know you have a company called Windshield Direct. Can you tell us a little bit about what Windshield Direct does?
Well, Windshields Direct is a full-service auto glass business. We take care of our friends and neighbors. We do all kinds of auto glass, from windshields to all of the other glass on the car, to include motorhomes, heavy equipment, also the big commercial trucks, so keeping those truckers on the road. And we run one of the early adapters of the advanced safety systems calibration system. So we take care of everything. So. Okay,
now a lot of people are familiar with SafeLight as somebody they advertise. We're going to do your windshield, and it's not going to cost you anything because you have insurance and all this kind of stuff. Can you, first of all, talk about how your company is different than Safeco, or Safelite, rather?
Well, at Windshields Direct, we feel like it's really important that you actually get to speak with people and have relationships with the business owners and the people that are doing the work for you. In a lot of these bigger companies, you get lost. You're just a number, and it doesn't really matter whether you do business with them because they have, however many more people lined up. Where with us, we're going to take great care of you because you're our friend, you're our neighbor, and we want those, we're employing our neighbors, we're employing the people in our community. So we want everyone to have the best experience possible.
Now, are there things that you do on the car that Safelite doesn't do?
So they have kind of stopped doing certain things, like the heavy equipment, sometimes the motorhomes, just because it's heavier work. They don't always want to do that. And I don't ever want to say anything bad about any other business, but, with a lot of businesses, there's a lot of turnover with their staff. And so you don't know if you're going to get somebody who's been installing for 20 years or maybe like 3 weeks, a month, 6 weeks. So I think that makes a big difference, especially since your car is one of your biggest purchases that you'll ever make next to your house.
Yeah. Now, I know that you've been in Ocala since 2017, and you've got Rob, who's one of the owners, been installing windshields for 24 years.
Yes, that's my husband.
Okay, so that's a long time, right?
That is a long time,
Okay.
yes.
And because of that, he's seen a lot of things that, are challenging from this. Look, if you have the right windshield and you need to replace the windshield and you have a good installer, I assume that that's not the most difficult, challenging thing to do.
It's not, no. The hard part is when something's not going well, or maybe somebody's done a job that maybe was subpar, and maybe you've got rust, or you've got not all the parts are matching because you work off of nags, and sometimes it's not correct, and so you have to have the sense to be able to figure those things out.
Right.
And Rob is really good at figuring those things out.
So, for example, a lot of the people in Ocala and the villages bring cars down from up north where they have a lot of rust, right? I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, so I know about cars and rust. The whole bottom of the car would rust out, and hopefully they're doing a little better now, coating the cars and stuff, but you still have rust.
Usually what we see is that maybe a windshield has been changed and it wasn't treated properly when they changed the windshield out. So if they're not cleaning it properly, if they're not priming it properly, then rust gets in there. And when we pull it out, you're going, ooh, somebody kind of missed the mark on their install.
So that's important. And Rob makes sure that everything is done correctly.
Yes, yes.
So that's one big. Now, let's talk about insurance right now. I heard talk that there was going to be some changes in whether windshields were automatically covered or not. What's going on there?
So I think some of the carriers are deciding what they want to do still. And one of the things that they've come up with is basically a glass waiver. So if, like the state of Florida says your deductible is waived if you need a windshield change, if you have the full comprehensive coverage. But if the insurance doesn't want to pay for it, they'll maybe give you an option to opt out of that so that that's not an option anymore for you. So they're kind of handling it more on the actual policy language. And I haven't heard much about the full state, just little rumors.
Okay, so if you try to save $4.72 every 6 months from your policy, how much is it going to cost you to repair your windshield if you have to pay cash?
So it depends on your car because, if you have an older vehicle, you're saving on your payment by not having one probably. You're running probably $300 to $500 depending on the type of vehicle you have. But where it really gets a little bit more expensive, if you're trying to save that kind of money, is when you have a newer vehicle that requires a calibration, maybe needs some windshield that's more expensive because it has more features. So,
that's right, because
yes.
like they'll bury the radio antenna in the windshield, right?
Yes.
And stuff like that.
Yeah. And you have a lot of options. You've got a solar windshield, an acoustic windshield, which cuts down on the rays, cuts down on the sound, on the road noise. There's antennas in there, maybe heads-up display, and all of those things they're an expensive windshield.
So how much? What's the price range on some of the most expensive windshields?
Well, if I went the most expensive, it'd be motorhomes.
Right.
So just the price to get the glass is thousands, like maybe between $3,000 and $4,000 sometimes. That's not including all the effort for the install. But I would say like the import cars, like the European cars, those are very expensive.
I mean, are you
windshields.
talking about more than $500?
Oh yeah. So
1,000?
yeah, sometimes they can be up to 2 and 3 because we pay for the windshield, which from the dealer, if it's a dealer part, it's going to be quite a bit more expensive. And then you're going to take your time on the installation, but the recalibrations are really a big part of it too.
So whoever is listening or watching, if you want to save a minimal amount of money, when I say $4.72, it's probably that low. Okay, as far as what the cost is for the windshield repair, maybe you save $50 a year, and then you might be looking at a $1,200 repair cost, right?
Yeah. Yep, and it just depends on the type of vehicle that you have. Some of them are very inexpensive to fix, and it also depends whether you're willing to use aftermarket parts or you need an OEM part.
What do you recommend?
It really depends on the vehicle. So not all of them. If it's an older vehicle and you really just want to put glass in there, you're going to get an aftermarket part. That makes the most sense. But if it's maybe a newer vehicle, a very expensive vehicle, that makes more sense to probably use an OEM. Also, like performance vehicles. Say if you have a Mercedes, an Audi, even a Subaru, you really want to get an OEM part just for the calibration.
Okay, what does OEM stand for?
It's original equipment manufacturer.
Okay.
So that's where we buy from the dealer.
OEM, remember
OEM,
that.
yes.
Well, if you can't remember that, just say, I want the, manufacturer's original part,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And-
But most of the time it's what will the insurance pay for. So that's a big part of it. The insurances kind of control what they're going to pay out of pocket. So we are able to go in and get approvals for everything. Not everything, but, we request them at least. That way we know where the money is going to come from, hopefully not out of the customer's pocket. Hopefully it's just going to be covered. But we go through all those steps to make sure that there's minimal out of pocket to the customer.
Okay. And Crystal, what's your role in the company?
I'm a sales manager.
Okay. And tell us about some of the outreach efforts that you do as far as, working in the community and helping people know about your company.
Absolutely. So my job specifically is over our fleet accounts and commercial. So my day-to-day is maybe helping them with inspections. Maybe they don't have time to put their eyes on the trucks, so I would go and help with that. If they need help calling in the insurance claim, I can also assist with that. I have a number to the glass department, so they don't have to stay on hold and hold up their time because, time is valuable.
Yeah.
So, but that's about what I do every
So
day.
there's a lot of fleets, that are coming in, all these storage facilities in Ocala and central warehouses.
Mm-hmm.
You see them all on I-75. Plus, there's a lot of new businesses all over north central Florida. So you work with companies that have fleets because if you got 50 trucks on the road, you're going to have windshield break. Number one, that's a lot of trucks to be on the road. Number two, they're on the road for a long time usually because they're working all day long.
Yeah.
So they're more likely to get a cracked windshield.
Absolutely.
And they need help because a lot of times it can be frustrating trying to get the insurance company to move forward, right?
Correct. And another thing is building relationships with other locally owned and operated companies. Even if we're not doing work for them, I would love to connect with them, get to know their company, how we can be a good referral source for them. So that's another thing I do, building relationships, going to different insurance agencies, building relationships with them, and that's basically what I focus on.
So you recommend making sure you get insurance for your windshield glass?
I always recommend to all of our customers, if you can carry the comprehensive and collision, it's definitely worth it. You being in accident stuff, you completely understand it. And sometimes we pay more money for the insurance, but we save money at the end of the year. Like if you needed your windshield replaced, you could go and get it done at no cost, and hopefully you're saving some type of money there. And
Yeah.
not.
Now, how big does a crack on a windshield have to be for
Good
the insurance to cover it?
So they kind of all have a general criteria, but nowadays they're using an AI program to kind of decide because everybody's moved towards let's do repairs. Saves them money, they don't have to recalibrate. So the size of a credit card is the size of the crack that they would like to do replacement on, but they want to do repair on things smaller than that, which can get tricky if it's a running. So, but if it's like a smack, like a star, usually that can be repaired with a rock chip.
Okay, well, let's talk about that. Say, a rock hits your windshield and it just takes a little, makes a chip, and where it's actually, disintegrated a part of the windshield. Are repairs effective on that?
They are, but not always. Probably maybe 1 in 10 would have a failure on it. But for the most part, you can fill them in.
And how does it look after you've done the repair?
You can still see it. So
Okay.
you're basically like just filling in the glass or a resin, and then it's pressurized. So it's keeping the windshield whole, but it's just a cosmetic, not even a cosmetic fix, it's a functional fix. So, it may or may not, may continue to run. We try and look at them and give them a good idea whether it's going to be a running thing or if it's going to be something that we can fix. But if it ends up failing, then we actually discount if they need to have their glass done. They actually need a windshield.
Okay.
And one of the other criteria is it in your line of sight? If you're driving and you can't take your eyes off of it, that's not safe. So that's one of the things that a lot of people are like, hey, I can't handle this thing in front of me. I need to
Yeah, it would drive me crazy because you're right. You start getting fixated on something that's right in front of you. It's like watching TV and maybe just having a hole there in the middle of the TV, right?
Yes.
And sometimes I hear my customers say it gives a glare. So sometimes that glare can not be good when you're driving, especially with the Florida sun hitting it.
Right.
So sometimes it will make that chip just drive them crazy or even become a distraction while
So
driving.
how do you recommend folks deal with that? I mean, coming to you, do you become their advocate then as far as, why the insurance should cover it?
We do. So the first thing I look at is, one, how expensive is the fix? If it's not an expensive fix, I would say less than $500. Maybe you want a cash quote to do with repair, whatever it might be. Just because some people have that, where when you get closer towards maybe $1,000, then it's not in people's budget. So that's part of it. We try and advocate there. And we're not looking to make claims that aren't necessary. So the damage has to really be there for us to do the work. So, but if it makes sense to, repair a rock chip that's maybe in a corner, then that makes sense. But if there's a crack running across and it's even into the frit, which is the black area that goes around there, if you're in that, then you're kind of running into maybe some danger areas. So we do a lot of inspections, like show me the damage so that we can help you figure out the right course.
So what are the dangers of, say, a glass crack that's not, say it's over on the right side and it's not in, the vision of the driver? What are there any risks involved in driving around with a cracked windshield?
There are. They kind of get downplayed, but the reality is your windshield is one of your biggest pieces of safety equipment on your vehicle. And if that's not intact, then you start to run, and you're not wearing seatbelts, not using all your other restraint systems. The windshield's what keeps you in the car, so you don't want to have any loss of the integrity of that.
Well, that would make sense. So, so let's boil this down for our listeners and viewers. Number one, when you buy your insurance, make sure that you have windshield coverage. Number two, have your insurance agent explain to you what kind of coverage you do have because it varies from one company to the next.
It does.
So now not only do you have to find, the windshield coverage, but you have to find a company that understands it's important to protect their insureds and have good coverage, and you have to pay for it.
You do.
But it's valuable. It's just like health insurance or
Right.
anything else, right? It's like, do you want a policy where you got to spend $25,000 before they start paying?
Right.
You don't want a huge deductible. You want to have coverage, and you want to have coverage that you can afford.
Exactly. So one of the things that they've started to do, especially as these vehicles become more expensive to fix with all of the camera systems, all of the advanced safety systems in there, is they started offering OEM endorsements, because sometimes the OEM glass is the only one that will calibrate. And so the insurance company, like Subaru, that's one of them with their new eyesight cameras. Those need to be recalibrated. It's kind of a process to do those. It's a specialty thing. But with that endorsement, then they're not going to try and take you to an aftermarket part. You're going to say, hey, we see you have this endorsement. You should be getting aftermarket part. And it's an OEM part, and it's much less of a fight.
So explain what the endorsement means.
It means that your vehicle should have OEM parts, and they are going to provide them for you. And they're not going to try and persuade you to get an aftermarket part that won't do the job.
So in the insurance industry, you pay for what you get, basically. And you just have to realize that you can shop price, but you should first of all figure out what you need, and then figure out what you can afford.
Right.
And rather than doing it the other way, I hate to hear when people go online and they buy insurance and they never talk to a person. They have no idea of what the endorsements mean. Endorsements, are your collision, your comprehensive, your gap insurance, personal injury and property damage insurance are required, but in such small amounts that it doesn't protect your car. And the PIP insurance is $10,000 of medical bills. And that was passed in 1973.
Yeah,
so
they could up those limits a little bit.
$10,000. I don't even think it gets your toe through the door of the emergency room. Okay,
no.
But you know what? Politicians are afraid to make changes that are needed because it will increase insurance rates. However, our insurance rates, for the most part, for auto at least, they don't have any coverage in this state. You don't need to have comprehensive. You don't need to have collision. I'm sure people come into your place and they're going, "Oh, I have full coverage,"
And
right?
they really don't.
How many times has that happened?
It happens a lot.
It happens every day.
Yeah, they have
For
no
me.
idea what kind of coverage they have, and they all assume it's full coverage.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why I wrote the book, Buying Florida Auto Insurance, because it explains coverages and endorsement. The endorsement is basically where it says you have, $500 deductible on your collision, which protects your own car, right? The property damage that is required under Florida auto insurance only covers the other car if you were at fault. Most of the time, they're not at fault, and that their car's been damaged and they need insurance. So anyhow, it's one of my pet peeves that people think it's smart to go to these insurance companies and they'll sell you the cheapest insurance and you get the least value of any insurance.
Absolutely.
And it's like, are you really in a position where you want to come out of pocket for $2,000 or $3,000 for a windshield repair on a car that's got all kind of electronics in it?
Right. And most of the time we see these on the internet policies where they never call, they really aren't in contact with it, so they don't understand limits, they don't understand exclusions, they don't understand any of those things. So, they definitely need to work with an agent.
Well, the other problem we find is if they call an 800 number, they're talking to somebody who may be on the job for 2 weeks.
Yes,
And
that's
doesn't know.
common.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So one of our number two step. The first step is read our consumer guide. Just go to meldonlaw.com, and right at the top on the homepage, you can download a version of it, or we'll send you the book itself in the mail for free. It's all for free. So once you become conversant with some of the terms, then number 2 is go to a local insurance agent that's been there a while. You can sit down with them, and they'll be very considerate of what your budget is, how many assets you have. All those kind of things are, if you have no assets and you don't care about a $500,000 medical bill staring you in the face, then they can give you a bare bones policy. But most of us don't want to deal with that. Most of us would rather have insurance that, covers our car, that covers any contents within the car. We want to have protection, so if we are careless and cause an accident, that our coverage will pay the other person, so we don't get sued and have a big judgment against us, right? They don't tell you that when you call the 800 number or go online. They don't tell you any of that, right? So you're the one that has to be the bearer of bad news, right?
Yes.
Sorry, you got screwed.
And just one more thing that I want to mention, that we are a network with most all insurance companies. So that makes a huge difference when you're trying to find a shop that you want to use. And we are auto glass safety certified. So we've gone through those hoops to make sure that we can give a quality service to our customers.
So let's tell everybody how to get a hold of y'all.
So you can reach out to us at 352-415-9463, or you can contact us on our email. It's windshieldsdirect.com, and the email specifically is info at windshieldsdirect.com.
How about if they just Google Windshield Direct Ocala?
You'll find us there.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of breaking it down, because when you're driving in your car and listening to this, you may not remember it, but you should be able to remember windshield.
Yes.
Okay. And then direct means you're talking with the boss. Okay.
Yes.
And you're talking with the owners, and they will get you the kind of service that you need. So it's Windshield Direct Ocala, but you service the whole North Central Florida area.
Yep.
So they're friends of ours. We know them. We know they do good work. And there's a lot of advantages to working with somebody you can trust and who does quality work. We like to think that's the same in the legal field as well. You want to work with somebody you trust, and they're going to do a good job for you. So I want to thank you very much for joining us on the show today, and hope you have a really nice holiday.
Awesome, you
well.
too. Thank you for having us.
I have one more thing. So if you guys need a windshield or any kind of auto glass, call Windshields Direct, where we want to see your crack.
Okay, I love the tagline. Okay, that's it. Well, thank you very much for joining us on Meldon Law and Friends, and we'll be back next week for another edition of Meldon Law and Friends.